Why did FrenchPressCoffee.com name the Orphan Espresso Lido 3 Manual Coffee Grinder a staff pick? I'm going to show you why today here on FrenchPressCoffee.com. Hey everyone, I'm Brian with FrenchPressCoffee.com. Thank you for tuning into our virtual coffee shop here today. And as I said in my intro, we're talking about the Lido 3 Manual Coffee Grinder from Orphan Espresso. And we're going to show you why we think that this is an awesome choice to have in your at-home coffee shop, why you would want this on your countertop. Now, going to go through all the operation, how this thing works, and everything else. But if you do have questions, again, as always, make sure to get in touch in the comments section of our video. So let's dive in and talk about the Lido 3 from Orphan Espresso. Let's start from the top of the Lido 3 and make our way down. Starting at the very top, we have our rubberized grip and handle. And this, I really like the way this feels, and this is important because you're going to be grabbing onto this quite a lot when you're going to be grinding coffee. So this is the rubberized grip and handle, and this folds out. It folds out with this really nice locking mechanism right here. And it's just kind of a nub that you press upwards, and then the handle pops out. And that's real important. And then I should just mention that this is so smooth, and I'll show you how smooth it is when we start grinding coffee. It's really cool. Moving down, we've got this silicone cap, and this cap, pretty straightforward. Take this off, and then you'll add your coffee beans directly through the top into the hopper right here. And there is one cool thing about this cap. If you do not close the handle over it, it's going to come out real easily. So if you were traveling with the Lido 3, and let's say you put coffee beans into the hopper, you would want to make sure that you close the handle over that silicone cap, and then it'll keep everything sealed up tight and the cap won't fall out. Moving down, let's look at the hopper. Now the hopper is made of BPA-free plastic. It is sort of a dark plastic, but it's not so dark that you can't see how many coffee beans you have added into it, and that's good. But this does measure about 70 grams. So you can have about 70 grams of coffee into the hopper. That's pretty decent because that's generally about what you're going to need even for some very large French presses. So that's super useful. You can add a lot of beans here and grind a lot of coffee. In the center of the hopper and going down into the conical burrs, you're going to find dual bronze axle bearings attached to this axle inside, which is going to allow you to get a really smooth operation. Again, I'm going to show you this when I grind some coffee, but even without it, it just feels so smooth. It's really impressive. And one of the things that I do really like about this is that because that axle is consistent through the entire hopper, it just makes it very easy to be able to grab the whole thing and grind. And again, I'll show that to you as we move on. Speaking of the burrs, which of course are incredibly important to be able to get a good grind, you've got 48 millimeter Swiss-made conical steel burrs inside of the Lido 3. So that's important because you're going to get a lot of grind coverage. It's going to make it easier to be able to grind coffee. And because they're stainless steel and Swiss-made, that's going to mean that you don't have to worry about potentially breaking or cracking one or them wearing down, things along those lines. Very important to be able to get a really good coffee grind. And of course, how do you adjust for your grind with those conical steel burrs? Well, that is done using the stepless adjustment ring right here on the Lido 3. We're going to talk in depth about how to make use of that. Finally, we've got the receptacle that attaches to the bottom of the Lido 3, and this is of course where your ground coffee is going to land, and it's BPA-free plastic. With all that said, let's talk about how to grind some coffee with the Lido 3. So, pretty straightforward. We're going to start off and we're going to remove our silicone cap, and we're going to put some beans in there. So now that that's done, we can pop our cap back on. And now we need to adjust for our grind. So let's start off by taking a look at that. Now, as we have mentioned with other manual grinders in the past, it's important that you know where the 0 point is. If you have a 0 point, then you are able to gauge how it is that you're going to grind your coffee, because as you open up away from that 0 point, that's going to increase the distance, which is going to then allow you to get a more coarse grind. So we have a 0 point right here on the Lido 3, and then we have a corresponding hash mark, which is also blue. So these two blue points. Right now I have these matched up, and I have this about at 0 and closed up all the way. And what this means is that the burrs are as close together as they are going to get. So you wouldn't necessarily want to grind just like this. You want to open it up a little bit, because if you did do that, that would be a little hard on the burrs, and also you probably would not get any coffee. But As we then open up, that's going to allow us to get a finer to a more coarse grind. So let's start off by just opening up about a full turn. As you saw there, I turned the bottom receptacle a complete turn, 360 degrees. My blue line is back to matching up with my 0 point. And this means that I have just opened up those burrs more so that I can be able to grind more easily. So now what I can do is lock my ring. So the reason that these hash marks are important is because these allow us to be able to gauge how my grind is going to work. So by turning and using those hash marks as sort of a home point to be able to know how it is that I'm opening up my burrs, that's going to allow me to govern the kind of grind I'm going to get. Now, this is not going to be perfect for everyone. You're going to need to spend some time with a manual grinder to find the perfect grind, but we've been playing around with this a little bit in order to get to French press, which is what we're going to be focusing on today. So I opened this up about a full turn, but I need to add just a little bit more. We found that we do one full turn and then we would go 1, 2, and about 3 more turns. So now, again, I'll lock that ring down. So I'm just turning the center ring, and this locks my set point for being able to grind. So with that done, now I can just simply start grinding. So I'll show you how easy it is to do this. I should note I'm really turning this with very minimal effort right now, which is really cool. Because I think the thing that keeps most people from using manual grinders is it's manual, it's work. Why would I want to do that? But the reason that you would want to do that is because, again, you can dial in to get the exact type of grind that you're looking for. The great thing here is that I can adjust my setting, and then once I get it to where I want it, I know that is what I want. But if I don't like it, I keep adjusting. So again, super easy to turn and grind. Like literally almost no effort on my part, which is actually really cool. So depending on the grind that you're using, that of course is going to lead to maybe a longer grind time. And one of the things that I should also mention about the receptacle here for your grounds is that it is static free. So you're going to notice I don't have coffee grounds just sticking everywhere, which is actually really cool. So let's go ahead and pour these out. That's pretty great. This is a really impressive grind, I have to say. There's very little breakage, which is really important because in a lot of grinders which I have used, the coffee simply gets smashed up and it gets broken, which doesn't always lead to incredibly tasty coffee. But this is a really consistent grind. This is going to be awesome for French press, and we've brewed with this and it works really quite well. And I just have to say, overall, really, really impressive. And you can, of course, play with these grinds in order to find the grind that you like. Again, this grinder is capable of very fine grind. I have heard and seen that it is supposed to be capable of doing Turkish style, espresso, and then all the way up to what we're doing here with French press. So I have to say that's pretty awesome, especially from a hand grinder to be able to get a grind like that. That's a big deal. So there you have it, everyone. That's a look at the Lido 3 manual coffee grinder from Orphan Espresso. Gotta say, definitely very impressed. I have used a number of hand grinders. I don't always like using them, but this one feels really, really impressive. I think that this is going to be a big deal for anyone who wants to hand grind their coffee, regardless of the type of coffee that you like to drink. It's really excellent for travel. I have to say that the fact that it comes with a travel case and has all of the tools that you need to be able to carry this around. I mean, if you like really good coffee, I wouldn't see any reason you might not even end up bringing this to work and grinding your own coffee. So that's a pretty big deal. So I love the portability of it. The overall design is really awesome. It feels great, and I cannot stress again how easy it is to grind. That's super cool. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Now, as always, if you have questions, comments, if we've missed anything, feel free to get in touch in the comments section of this video. If you like what you saw here, give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and make sure to check out our other videos on FrenchPressCoffee.com. As always, everyone, I'm Brian with FrenchPressCoffee.com. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
Well, I hope you liked that highly caffeinated video. And if so, go ahead and give us a like and love it if you'd subscribe to our channel. So just go ahead, button's right there. I'll wait. And if you do, I'll give you an awesome coffee quote. Go on. Ah, there you go. Thank you so much. And here's a quote. Herbal tea tastes so much better when it's coffee.